Hello, James Malfetus here again with you, and hopefully this training is coming to you before the advanced training on how to get more ideal clients into your practice at any time that you please. Now, ever since people have been registering for the webinar, which by the way looks like it's probably going to be oversubscribed, so I strongly suggest that you get there maybe 10 to 15 minutes early just to ensure you get a seat. I've actually got a lot of really nice emails from people congratulating me on my book Accounting Clients on Tap. I'm also getting quite a lot of questions about whether you actually need a website in order to utilize a system that I'm going to be teaching you on the webinar. There seems to be quite a lot of reservation about what I call the technical side of things. In other words, getting a website online. Now, ironically, this is actually the easiest part of the entire process. That's the technical stuff. And that's for one very simple reason. And that is because you should simply not be doing it. Let me say that again. You should actually not be doing it. Now, I actually learned this the very hard way. It was a very, very painful lesson, and I learned this when I created my very first website, which is a little story that I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes' time so that you can see exactly what I mean. In the meantime, let me answer a very important question, and that is, do you really need a website? So in a word, the answer is yes, and in two words, the answer is absolutely, no question. That's three words, isn't it? But yes. I want to show you why in no uncertain terms you absolutely need to get your website online. And I'm going to show you how easy it is after I've done that to get a good website up and running in no time at all. So let me start off by actually showing you a few statistics. As you're digesting these statistics, I want you to remember something that's very important. Because you're a professional, and when I say you're a professional, it actually goes much further than that, because you actually carry the mantle as trusted advisor as being an accountant. So because of that, all of these statistics that you're going to see are really going to be magnified when it comes to the world of accountants because of the affluent nature and that very special relationship that we have with the clients that we deal with. 97% of consumers search online for products and services, yet only 58% of small businesses do not have a website. So that was a Google stat from 2012. So, in 2012 you had 97% searching and a whole bunch of businesses not having a website. So even though it's a 2012 statistic, it's still a pretty dire statistic, and you can see that many people are actually searching online. Here's another one. 96% of smartphone users have researched the product or service on their device. And again, this is from Google. 4 out of 5 consumers use their smartphones to shop. 4 out of 5, that's 80%, guys. 73% of mobile searches trigger follow-up actions, including purchases, calls, visits, and sharing. Again, from Google. So I think you can see that you definitely need a website. And when it comes to mobile websites, less than 5% of business websites are optimized for mobile users. And that's an absolute travesty, because since, I think it was December 2013, if I remember correctly, more people actually search for businesses and websites on their smartphones and on their tablets than they do on their laptops and their computers. Now, here's 3 more very important reasons that you actually need a website. So the first one is because of your professional status, your clients absolutely expect you to have a website. Let me say that again. Your clients expect you to have a website. Now, not having a website is going to actually hurt your authority and your credibility, even though you may not realize it. I speak to so many accountants and they say, well, I don't have a website. But, your clients are polite. They're not going to come to you and say, hey, Joe, don't you think you should have a website? So just think about that. It's really a big problem. Having a poor quality website is even worse than having no site at all, because now people have got an opportunity to form an opinion about your image, and believe me, first impressions count, and it certainly gets around the web very, very quickly. And when you give a new prospective client a business card, the first thing that they're looking for is to see whether you've got a website or not. And believe me, as soon as you leave the office, in fact, before you've even got in your car, they're already researching your site on their mobile phone. Remember those stats we spoke about above? Well, that's where they come into play. Now, virtually every accountant, auditor, and tax practitioner that doesn't have a site claims this to be so for one of 2 reasons. And that's obviously the reason for this video. So we've actually already covered the first reason, and that's just because they simply didn't realize the importance of having a website. And I've got to say that after I've actually spoken to all of these, most of them have been clients of mine, but not all clients, I have to say that virtually every single one of them has resolved to get a new website up and running within the next week. That's how seriously they take it once they actually get past the ignorance problem. Now, the second is the technological hurdle. And most what I call sightless professionals seem a little bit intimidated by the technology, and I really want to show you that there's absolutely no reason for this to be so. Here is why. Enter WordPress. Now, more than 60% of the world's websites are built on WordPress. So what exactly is WordPress? Well, it's an open source platform, which just means that anyone can actually make modifications to it, either for their own use or for commercial use. And it's basically the backbone that your website is created on. And honestly, it can literally be installed within 5 minutes. It's got two different components that you can just add, and these are called themes and plugins. So let's look at a theme first. A theme is just a little piece of software that allows you to change the look and the feel of your site in just seconds, and literally with just a few clicks of the mouse. So you can change things like your color scheme and your functionality, and you can do this very, very quickly. So it's a great way to change the customization and the look of your site. For example, you can easily add your own logo, and then based on your logo, you can add the colors that suit your particular logo. Then there are plugins, and these are essentially pieces of software that allow you to easily perform various functions. For example, in the last video, you might remember that I told you about my first experience when I used this system, where I got 40 new clients on my first webinar. Now, there was a bit of a panic attack after that, to say the least, but the bottom line is I had to arrange a 2-hour consultation with each and every one of these 40 clients. So what I did was I simply found a plugin that allowed me to let them book their own consultations based on available times. And I was able to research the plugin, I was able to install it and configure it all in about 2, maybe 3 hours. Can't remember exactly, but it wasn't that long. And all of a sudden I had a fully functioning appointment booking system on my site, and it cost me about $50. Now, in days gone by, I would have had to hire a programmer to do this, and this would have cost me thousands of dollars, and who knows how long it would have actually taken me to actually wait for him to get it done. Probably weeks. Now, the other thing about WordPress is that it allows you to add new content to your site. So let's say, for example, that the tax laws change and you want to update your site. You know, it's really just as easy as typing like on a word processor, and voila, you've suddenly got a new blog post and you're up online. Now that we know how easy it is, the next question is, well, how do I get a WordPress site installed? The best way is to outsource your site creation. So if you already have a web designer or you've got somebody looking after your IT needs, they'll certainly be able to help you. And if you don't, then you can actually go online to various outsourcing sites, and you'll find literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who'll be happy to do it for you for a nominal fee. These people can literally be anywhere in the world, and in some countries where the standard of living is low, the prices are dirt cheap. In fact, you will not even believe it. By the way, although we're talking about websites here, you can actually outsource virtually any aspect of your business online. For example, you could outsource bookkeeping services, or you could get somebody to draw financials for you online. Oh, there's a myriad of things that you could actually go ahead and do. You can also look around online for companies that specialize in creating and maintaining websites for you. This is a good option because it takes a lot of the technical hassles away from you, as well as all the worry about your site breaking or going down. So if you're really technologically challenged, or you really hate technology, which is me, by the way, then this is a really, really good option for you. So if you're looking to maintain control over your site in-house, then I've also got great news, because there are a lot of training programs that will show you how to do this. Of course, I'm not suggesting that you do this yourself, because as I said to you before, your time is very valuable, and you should actually rather be getting other people in your organization to do the site building and maintenance for you. Trainees and receptionists make an excellent choice for this particular function. If you need some help in creating your site, just let me know, and I'll recommend someone to you that can help you to get your site up and running ASAP. Now, before I end this video, I just want to tell you about the first site that I created. In fact, it's still up, and it's called Garage Sale Blueprint. Now, it was my very first information product, so it's a little bit rough around the edges, but it teaches people how to make a full-time or a part-time living selling goods on garage sales. It is actually a pretty good product, if I'm honest. Now, I have to say that I probably spent 6 weeks, if not more, trying to learn all of the technical issues to get this stupid site up. And the reality is, it was a relatively simple site because it only had 3 pages. Alright, it did have some technicalities, because obviously I needed a payment link and a payment processor to be able to take payments, and obviously I needed, to be able to deliver the product to people, but it wasn't astronomically difficult. Anyway, eventually after about 6 weeks, I got fed up, and I actually went onto one of these outsourcing sites that I was telling you about, and I paid somebody $80 to sort this nonsense out for me. Wait for it. It took the outsourcer 4 hours. 4 freaking hours, $80 later to complete the job. So now you go ahead and do the maths. For 6 weeks at my rate, I was mucking around trying to get this stupid thing up. I then went and I paid somebody $80, and in just 4 hours, my site was up. And since that day, I have not built another single one of my own sites ever again. It's just not worth my time. That's not to say I can't build them, I can, but it's just not worth it. And you should adopt exactly the same philosophy and just not get bogged down in the detail. So just go ahead and pay someone to do it for you, because the investment will be far less than you think, and the rewards will certainly be worth it for you. Now, I just want to tell you that I have a number of bonuses for those of you that actually attend the webinar. You're going to have to stay all the way through to the end to see what they are, but I promise you they're really going to be worth it, and you're certainly going to enjoy the whole process. So what I want you to do is to just check the details below this video for the dates and the time, so that you can save the details in your calendar, because I just want you to make sure that you don't miss this webinar. And I suggest you go and do that right now, because we've actually got a limited number of seats with our service provider, our webinar service provider. In fact, it's only 200 seats for this particular webinar, and I would hate for you not to be able to grab a spot. And I think at this stage we actually only have a handful of seats left, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be sold out. And also remember my policy and my philosophy that I reward action takers, so there's going to be no replay available for this webinar. So you want to do everything that you can to actually get there. Otherwise, you're going to just have to wait for the next time that I run the webinar. So all that remains now is for me to say thanks for joining me on these videos, and I really look forward to answering more of your questions and to seeing all of you on the webinar, where I'm going to show you how to not only get more clients, but how to get only the ideal clients. In other words, those clients that you really, really want. So until we meet in the webinar, this is James Morfita signing out. Talk soon.